So Frontier have done their best to copy ASOBO'S Microsoft Flight Sim roadmap aesthetically, while completely failing to copy its substantive listing of all of the issues. By selectively rejecting reported issues as not relevant, they have made a pretty list that is extremely limited in its substantive value. Let's go over the top issues listed on this, then discuss some suggestion of what should be on the list and what you would rate as in the top 20 issues. So real quick, let's look at this. Issue number 1, problems with lighting and illumination. That's legit. And they say that it's fixed, but it's still on the list, and many people are saying that there's a lot more that needs to be fixed on that. So I leave that to you to decide to what extent you feel that's fixed. Degraded terrain textures compared to Horizon. This is the planetary tech stuff that we've been talking about. In progress, maybe going to be fixed in Update 7, or they're going to do another round of something on it Update 7, which we know is coming in September. Tiling planetary features. Again, the planetary tech. Investigating. They don't know when they're going to get to that. Low FPS performance in Odyssey. That's legit. And they think they'll maybe be able to do something with that this year. Limited gameplay during Apex shuttle rides. This is a head scratcher for me because it's like, what are you trying to add in there? CQC? What? Like, yeah, we know there's limited gameplay when you're in the ship because you won't give us ship interiors. What the actual hell? With regard to the next one, which is the Invincible Thargoid Heart. Investigating, TBC. Okay, sorry guys, but let's just call a spade a spade. That's been investigating for the last 6 years. What the fuck already? Anti-aliasing not working correctly. In progress. Maybe we'll get to it this year sometime. Joystick buttons 32 plus not working. Not started yet. We're looking at it. We're thinking about it. And here's where, like, everything that I've just read on the list from top to here, I feel like those are at least legitimately enough that they should be discussed. If not on the top 20 list, but at least legit. Here's where we go off the rails. Item number 10. Exposed telemetry data for motion simulators. People who have a built sim pit to be able to rock around in their chair. You're telling me that's more important than some other shit that I'm about to read to you off of my list? Okay. I call bullshit on that. 175 people voted on it? I don't know. Non-human signals in Odyssey that should contain interceptors are empty. That's a legitimate actual issue. And they say they're going to look at it in September. I'm just going to push through to this, and then we'll call on people just because we got to keep this moving along. Increased performance problems since Update 5. We're looking into that. It's actually gotten worse with the last patch that they dropped. And they're saying, we'll maybe fix it with the next patch in September sometime. Super Crew stuck at 0 time remaining when tunnel forming. Braben Tunnel. Been going on for forever. They'll look into it. And maybe in September they'll have... Now, again, when they say Update 7, that doesn't mean we'll have it fixed then. That means we'll take a step then of some kind. Fleet carrier modules and finances not calculated towards assets. Who the fuck cares about that? The game is a shit show. You're actually talking about a goat rope, and you're saying that 134 people, the most important thing to them is my wallet's not being added correctly? Like... Nope, I call bullshit on that. Anybody with a half a brain would knock that off the fucking list and get to something substantive. NPC fighter kills in conflict zones count as progression. Okay, that's actually a legitimate thing only because it's not like if you played it right, it would count. Who gives a shit? But if you can game the system, join a conflict zone for the opposite side, and send after fighter after fighter after fighter to just die, and then you can prop up the numbers. So that legit is a thing that should be fixed. I'm confused as to how it's not fixed already, but it should be fixed. And they're saying TBC, like to be thought about. We don't know. We're not committing to when we're going to get to it. Support missions have been culled. Just as a reminder for everyone who's playing along at home, support missions These are, so it's like turn on the base, turn off the base. They're saying they're not showing up. They're missing. We're thinking about it. We're working on it. We'll have a step towards it in September. A previously present codex entry is now missing. A, that's vague as fuck. But B, they're saying something that was in the codex before isn't now. Unless that something is very important, you 83 people who voted that, who spent your vote on that, need to re-examine your life. A new issue. So all of these now are new issues. A new issue, 82 people voted. System and galaxy map misalignment in widescreen aspect ratios. A, they don't know when they're going to fix it. B, how the fuck is this a problem? How is it, if you program your shit correctly, how is it that the aspect ratio has anything at all to do with where the cursor is? That's just a sign that you did your shit sloppy. Stolen tritium cannot be donated to a fleet carrier's fuel depot. Are you kidding me? That's what's important to you? That's what's important to you.
At least it's fixed.
Well, no. It's saying that they have a fix in update 7.
It hasn't rolled out yet, but they're claiming it's going to be fixed.
There's been so many things that they've said, oh, this has a fix, and then when the update comes along, it's like they took us... we've heard a dozen times that the Thargoid heart bug is fixed. That don't make it so. But like, all right, whatever. The next one. Missions and rewards are not sharing with the team. The big thing that was in patch 6, update 6, didn't happen. So what I just said before about, hey, just because they say it's happening, don't mean it's happening. Update 6 was, you can share missions now. Update 7 is, hey, we're going to probably try to fix the fact that those missions aren't sharing. So that's their list. A lot of it to me that seems legit. The answer is, we don't know, we're looking into it. Some of it seems absolutely bullshit, and some of it is just like a question mark of things we told you we were going to fix before. We're going to maybe try to fix it again in the future. Now, again, this roadmap or this issue report looks a hell of a lot like the ASOBO roadmap. The difference is, theirs is legit, and this is fucking Fantasyland. This right here is some J.R.R. Tolkien shit, because it bears very little resemblance to reality. Now, let me give you what I would consider to be the list if I was going to do it. 13 differences. I'm not a billion-dollar company. I'm a drunk Marine in his underwear. All right, that right there is my list of shit that I would look at. Number 1, reduce the grind loops. Number 2, introduce some exobiology gameplay loop. Not just it's all set to where you point at a plant and you automatically win. Step 3, introduce some salvage game loop. Right now it's you cut open a little box with a laser and take out 3 things. There's no way to fail that. I mean, unless you try to swallow the laser barrel. Number 4, introduce some hacking loop. They said hacking was going to be a thing, and then they said, or, you can use this e-breach, but hacking is the better way to do it. And then they never managed to put in any hacking. They just said e-breach is hacking. Number 5, optimize EDO, for Christ's sake. Okay, yes, you do have it on your list, and you're going to get to it someday maybe. Number 6, fix the lighting. Yes, that's on the list. They have acknowledged it. They're working on it. So that's those 2 right there. Those are legitimate ones that I think they got right on the list. Number 7, fix the planet tech. Again, they had that on their list. Multiple places. They're looking into it. Number 8, fixed instancing so that your game is actually an MMO. Nowhere on their list. But instead, they wanted you to know that you can try to figure out what's going on with your wallet on your fleet carrier, because you need to look that up. Number 9, add ship interiors to the roadmap already. Number 10, add VR to the roadmap already. Number 11, hey, console launch. That should be a thing. Number 12, add ships and SRVs to the game. You have a game about flying spaceships. You added a $40 update or $60 if you bought the advanced look package, and you didn't add ships to your spaceship game. Maybe look at doing that. There's another game, it's called Star Citizen. They add ships to their game. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars. Maybe try doing that. Number 13, add planet-side mining and on foot in your SRV and on foot. all of these should have either been included with the launch or planned as some part of the installment for the $60, quote, biggest ever paid update that is in essence a whole doubling of the gameplay from Elite Dangerous Horizons. And yet, none of that was included. But, guys, don't worry. They're on it, because this little list here looks real pretty. And soon they're going to tell us what's going on with my Fleet Carrier wallet. So, yeah. All right, let's start at the top. Wolf, and then Roy, and then Dark Knight. Go for it.
All right, so going back to the original list, number 6. Hey, the game kind of hangs sometimes. Is it really that hard to go to Task Manager and just kill the thing? Like, all of us have done it for all kinds of different things. Yeah, it's annoying. Your shit's broke on lots of other levels, like even quality of life in the game. When I gotta leave to go do whatever, and I just hit exit, it doesn't exit, and I just do the one thing and it goes away, and then it's done. Like, yeah, it's irritating, but I don't care. My biggest thing is, hey, lighting and illumination for the cockpits. Hey, I got a brilliant idea. And, I bet you if you talk with the guy who wrote it, he'd be more than happy to help you out. Take the Edie HUD mod and put it in the damn game. It would make the game a lot nicer for me, because being slightly colorblind, I can't see most of your goddamn game.
Preach, brother. Roy.
Okay. Let's take a few steps back here. Here's what I think's going on with this list. This comes from the issue tracker, right? And if you look at two major observations I have here. One, aside from the top 4 issues, everything on this list has been voted on by only 400 people or less, and the majority of it's less than 200 people. This is a game, depending on how you count it, that has, somewhere between 4 and 12 million licenses. So the fact that there's a bunch of weird stuff on this list, I think is because of 2 reasons. One, there's just not enough people participating in this process of voting things. There's people probably passionately chasing the bug that they put in before this bug tracker was going to be used for this purpose. And second, like, of the things on this list, all but 3 are bugs. There's, depending on how you count, maybe 3 or 4 that are like new feature or change the feature kind of requests, which in the past I don't think was encouraged on this list. So if I was to look at this charitably, I'd say it's in transition and more people need to use it for asking for the kinds of things that are actually wanted that aren't bugs per se. They're just not in the game. Or they're not doing it the way we want them to do it. And that's not been encouraged before. So I think this is just, there's too few people doing this, and it hasn't been used this way before, and probably a lot of people don't even know they're doing this.
Can I point out a suggestion, though, Roy?
Yeah.
See my list of 13 things right here? I was lazy. I didn't bother to do 20. Can you tell me, do you think that there's any of the things on this list of 13 that would be voted on less than... I don't know. Fleet carrier modules and finances not calculated towards assets. Like, part of the problem is they don't allow you to vote on the shit that we actually want. They throw it out as, nope, that's not relevant.
Yeah, and I spent some time looking at the things that are as designed, like you can sort by that. There's some pretty interesting stuff on there. That's what I mean by they've discouraged, first of all, they've discouraged right up until now, I guess, using the list this way. And there's probably lots of stuff that people have asked for that they've shot down anyway. So it's like they need to figure out how they want to use this tool. I think you got a great list there. I'm explaining why I don't think these lists match. There's a lot of reasons why they haven't used it properly as a tool to get this kind of feedback.
Fair enough. Tweak, then Dark Knight.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to give FDev a little bit of credit. And by that, I mean very little. At least there's a roadmap. That's more than we could say pretty much my whole time, my 4,000 hours playing this game. We've never really had a roadmap. That being said, it's a farce. There's no real information there. Again, it's what FDev does best. It's minimum viable product. Why do they have to go to that list to figure out what they need to do to fix their game? They should know by listening to their community what the problems are and what really needs to be fixed to make the game playable. that list is not it, and they really should know better than that. And if they don't, that's again another sign of a failing company, a company with severe internal problems.
DK, you're up.
Yeah, so I a lot to digest there. I was going to be echoing basically what everyone here has said, but to the point of what we're getting received as far as a roadmap, quote unquote, like you said, very minimal roadmap. They're trying to pull off what Asobo did with the progress tracker for Flight Simulator. They're not doing it like you said, Kai. When I first saw these roadmaps starting to pop up, I said, well, at least they're trying. You know, they're doing what they can, but it's full of fluff. You know, like you, I think you said it, Roy. It's a bug report. We can get bug reports and just add them to a real patch of content of things to do. You know, like you said, exobiology. Where is it? I don't play the game because right now I can't. I as an explorer, there's nothing for me to really see or find out there right now. The planetary tech is broken, or at least it had been. I don't know how much of it has been fixed in the last couple of months. I haven't actually been in the game.
Somewhat
for a
fixed, but
minute.
it's still partially broken. Yeah.
Still partially broken. Yeah, the lighting. Yeah, the lighting's awful. But going back to the point of, it really feels like it's just more of a bug report than little bugs that should have been fixed long time ago for some of these. There's some things that have been sitting in here since I started playing the game back in 2017. It's just, and I think you made a point to Roy there that there's just not enough people playing to pull up these, get these issues pushed in there, or maybe just not enough of the the more seasoned players that are going in and actually pushing up these reports or something. I don't know. It's just the low count on votes definitely says something.
So I want to take a moment to point out, while it's still on the screen for everyone to see, if you look at my list here, basically points 9 through 13 are features that for sure should have been already addressed, and it should have come on the launch of Odyssey if Odyssey was a proper thing. Points.
That's actually. Can I throw that in there real
Sure.
quick? I want to throw on to that point of what you said. There's so much in here that should have been there for the $60 I threw in on this Odyssey update. I played the alpha went through the pre. There's so much that should have been there. Why?
Yep. So, yeah. So points 9 through 13 these are features that should have been addressed. Points 5 through 8 these are bugs that you guys released a thing that was broken that you really should have tested the shit out of and known was broken and fixed it before you released. But points 1 through 4 are the killer for me. Points 1 through 4 these basically are 4 different ways of saying the same thing, which is you released a $40 update to your game that didn't have any soul. It just has a loot grind that leads to nowhere with no actual completely realized game loops that lead to fun. Elite Dangerous has so many awesome things in it that are fun. And Elite Dangerous, I bought for $40 the first time, Elite Dangerous, and then I bought Horizon, so I bought it for like $70 because I got the $69 pack that had like Elite Dangerous base game and Elite Dangerous Horizons. And let me tell you something. I paid $70 for that damn game, and they threw in some dumb stickers of you get whatever. It was the Commander's patch or whatever. And that was such a great value for my money. Elite Dangerous base game and Elite Dangerous Horizons, I paid $70 for. And if you factor in how much gameplay I got for my dollars, I got hundreds of hours for the penny. They don't owe me a goddamn thing for Elite Dangerous base and Horizons. I have gotten so much value for my money that I could not possibly think of being a big enough dick as to say they screwed me over. They did not for one little bit. Elite Dangerous Odyssey, the exact opposite scenario. I paid another $70 for that, and I feel like I got about $4 worth of value out of it. And it's literally, that's why, you know I sound angry. I know I sound venomous. I know I sound like a dick. I am not trying to be Yamix. I would not be talking about this if I didn't love Elite Dangerous. I want it to do better. I want it to turn around. I got so much value for my money from the first game. I did not, when they said, hey, this is like a whole new game, they were not lying. It's a whole new and shitty game. I would very much like to be able to say that I'm getting my money's worth out of Odyssey, and I pray that if I keep looking into this, because I have seen some stuff, Roy's talked about it, he's gotten it back in a little bit, and it's a little fun, and there's some stuff. So yeah, in September, they're going to drop this patch 7. And there's half of this little list here on their Asobo wannabe clone. It says, hey, we've got a fix coming in patch 7. So let's look. Let's see what it's like, and let's maybe get into this. I'm a huge Scott Gust fan, and I love that man for the way he loves Elite, and I want to be that way again. So I'm watching and I'm rooting, and yeah, whatever. It's what so FastCart and Griff have been completely silent, and I think it's because us old school Elite players have been just now venting our spleen and been getting out some hatred. But like, I would like and you guys have been very classy and quiet and whatever, but I would like, do you guys have any thoughts, or you're like, nah, I don't really have anything I want to say on this?
FC, you got anything? I got something if you don't.
Okay. I was just gonna say, I want a pony. Can pony be 14?
Yep, absolutely. 14
That's
on
all
the
I
list
got.
is now pony. Beautiful. Griff.
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah, no, as I mentioned, I played Elite probably from beta through 2017, maybe.
Okay.
And one of the things I feel kind of bad about, maybe it's because Star Citizen took my attention, was that I didn't really get into the nuts and bolts of development. I was really just in it to play the game. And I think maybe because I was probably mentally overwhelmed trying to keep track of Star Citizen. So following Elite and Star Citizen probably would have blew my brain up. But one of the things that I have been following, and as I mentioned, I've been following you guys and listening to your stream. And there were some revelations, and I'm speaking from the perspective of a Star Citizen person. I'm not saying this in any negative way. I'm saying it from an encouraging way. And it's the fact that many of the things that I've heard you voice, the areas where you've been dissatisfied, displeasure, are often echoed with the Star Citizen community. There's some of the same arguments. And Kai, you've been around long enough to know whether or not there's enough transparency, whether there's enough communication, blah, 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 right? But I truly was surprised when I saw the when the community has raised very valid concerns, and the way that the Frontier has responded to you guys. I'm glad that you're echoing. I love the fact that many of you have said we're not going to stop playing Elite. We love Elite. Our heart is in Elite. We believe in Elite, but we also need to see some things change. And I think you guys have sent a very strong message. I've noticed over the last few weeks they're trying to put out these updates, and in a way they're trying to respond to you more, because I was a little bit thrown off by the whole stonewalling. And David put out his message, and we need to do some things we need to do better, blah 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 blah. But you have a very committed community to that game, and a lot of time invested. I'm listening to people talk about they spend 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 hours in the game. I would just hope that even within Star Citizen, we have our people who say, oh, there's not enough transparency, there's not enough communication. But when I saw you guys' roadmap, when they posted it, I was like, they got to be joking, because the game's been around too long. And on one of our shows, we did the video where Braben and Chris Roberts were both talking. Their visions are so close, just done differently. You know what I mean? I heard Braben talk about people being able to move around in their ships, watching an explosion in the side of their hull, and some of the same stuff Chris Roberts is saying. And you guys, I feel have the right to ask for these things and say, hey, move this stuff up. There's some things we've been living with too long. One of the things I was frustrated with Eve was constantly putting out these new updates, but there's bugs that were still there years that they weren't moving beyond. And I think that for you guys, it's the same thing. a lot of things that you guys are asking to get done, they need to listen to your community, you know, because you guys are so dedicated to it, and you should be. It's a great game, but I hope that they listen to you guys and really kind of change the way they're doing business with your community.
And nobody has the corner, the market cornered on fucking up, making mistakes. CIG has made dumb mistakes. Chris Roberts has made dumb mistakes. They did that first Citizen Con, and they were like, "We're going to charge whatever money to watch the stream."
For the live
but
stream.
the difference
that wasn't the first one, but I know what you're talking about. They wanted to charge $20.
But the difference is when Chris Roberts fucked up, or whoever in CIG fucked up on that plan, right, and said, "We're going to do this way," and the community said, "Oh, we're getting out our pitchforks and whatever, because this shit is wrong." CIG, listen, like it's everyone's gonna fuck up. Any company, any game developer is gonna fuck up. But when your community gets together and in a clear voice tells you this is wrong and we're not having it, CIG said, "Oh yeah, we got to fix that. Yep, our bad. We're canceling that. We're backtracking. We're hearing you." And we're going to take the proper steps to sort of do what we need to sort of fulfill our commitments and maintain a good player base. Whereas with Frontier, and this is just my own personal feeling, and I'm not trying to belittle anyone, and I am still a huge David Braben fanboy. But with Frontier, I feel like there are so many times where the community has raised valid concerns, and Frontier has kind of said, like, "Well, we know better," and just kind of puttered along doing their own thing. And they've done it because they could. And now, I think for the very first time, they stepped on a landmine that they couldn't sort of take back. And now it's startling. I think it's starting to occur to them like, oh shit, we're no longer in a position where we can sort of maintain we're going to do what we want and you can follow or not. They're in a position where it's like, oh, we're going to have to actually listen to our customer base because it's dwindling quickly. FastCart, you had a serious point, yeah?
Yes, I want to say consumers vote with their wallet. And I just want to give an example. Like EVE Online, almost 10 years ago, they had this whole thing about greed is good, and people were rioting in EVE Online. They were losing subscribers. And then CCP decided to actually listen to their consumers and turn themselves around. And I think they are doing pretty well now. So I hope FDev turns around, because we need good base games out.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And we need the competition, because the more base games, the more good base games that we have out, the better future games will be.
All right, DK and then Wolf, and then we're moving it to Roy's Stories to close out the night because we're way late. So DK first.
No, the only thing I was going to say is that I'm not going anywhere with Elite Dangerous. I love the game. I've loved the game from the very beginning. I played in the 1984 version on my friend's Commodore 64. It's one of my faves, and I was sorely disappointed when EDO was released, and it saddened me. But I hope that they can at least try to pull something together. Because I have my own personal expedition that I'm trying that I want to partake on, and I want the game to be in a state where it makes that expedition worthwhile. It's just like you don't want to fly 70,000 light years and not have anything to look forward to. It's just saddening. But I'm not going anywhere. I just hope they pick up the pace and get things good.
Right on, Wolf.
So I got two, and I'll be really quick so we can get to the awesome space opera. Where did they announce the hey vote on this?
It's always been a thing where you can vote on the issue tracker, and they did say in the streams that they were going to be doing this new revamped thing.
Yeah, on the 10th.
Not in the forums. Not that a whole lot of people.
No, it was in the forum.
It was
in the forum.
Yep.
Yeah, a week
was
ago.
it on Twitter?
Don't know.
Okay, so they still have that same issue with social media engagement, with trying to get more eyes on things with stuff that they want. So come on, up the game on that. Got that. And as the last person who legitimately raged out for a minute, and I'll be honest, I channeled my inner Yamix for a second with the ED HUD mod. I still love Elite. I'm sorry, I've watched a lot of the Star Citizen gameplay from lots of different creators, especially Katie, because, well, you know, she's here and I can talk to her about things and learn. It's not going to scratch the itch that I have when I play Elite. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be different, and I'm going to love it because it's different. But I'm not going anywhere. I still want to play the game. I'm just frustrated with the management decisions that are focusing on the things that they think is important rather than that which the players are legitimately just smashing on their keyboards at. And I think it comes from that lack of social engagement where they're not asking in the right manner the questions that they want input for. 100% awesome thing that they're asking for that input. That's a big change. Please, for the love of God, keep it up. Just ask it in the right ways. Get the numbers of eyes on there, because there's a lot of people who can help make the game right.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is it that maybe the community has, because they've been crying out for so long, wanting the changes, that they've come maybe a bit disenchanted? Maybe they don't think that if they do raise their voices that they're just Frontiers histories, that they're just not going to hear them. Is that possibly it?
I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, part of this, I think, is absolutely fair and justified anger at Frontier for Odyssey. But you're absolutely right. A good chunk of this is, it's one of those deals where if you come and you push a guy and you push a guy and you push a guy, and every time he just takes it and takes it and takes it, he builds up this amount of rage where eventually you push one too many times and he comes at you with a meat cleaver, and you're like, whoa, that's a way over response to me pushing you. But it's like, well, yeah, but it's been the last 50 pushes that I ate that now are coming back.